Assalamu alaikum. I'm Taskeen Jamal. I am a certified BodyTalk practitioner. I'm also a productivity content creator. My background is actually coming from the corporate world, but I switched from the boardroom to the therapy room to fulfill my dream of supporting women and their families to improve their health, to connect better with themselves so that they can be and achieve the goals that they want and be the best that they can, both for their deen and their dunya goals.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Taskeen. What led you to the path of holistic healing and specifically becoming a BodyTalk practitioner?
It happened in one moment. I was in a class, a BodyTalk access class, where we learn like everyday techniques to help with your everyday health. And it was the first time that I was exposed to this world of holistic healing. I had never thought about the fact that there's more to our physical body. There's the emotions and how that impacts what we physically, see in our bodies. And I sat in a class during a break, I remember, and I said to myself, you know what? This is what I want to be doing full time one day. This is the service I want to be providing. But I was in a full-time marketing job at the time. So I didn't know when, I didn't know how. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. So I trained later that year to be to become a BodyTalk practitioner. I practiced on anyone who would let me, friends and family, even my colleagues at work. And but I continued working. And then just only a few years later, when the opportunity came, alhamdulillah, now I've been fulfilling that dream and supporting clients, women all over the world.
That's amazing. What's one transformation story that you would like to share with our audience from your sessions that has stayed with you?
I have two, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
One stays with me because it was such an instant transformation that I will never forget it. So it was a friend of mine who was she was pregnant and she was set for an emergency C-section. So obviously this was unplanned and unexpected, and she was extremely stressed. And then I had gone to the hospital, and the staff had just given me like 2 minutes. I begged them, please let me just see her for 2 minutes. And she was stressing. So I did one of the BodyTalk techniques for calming called the BodyTalk cortices technique, because I only had 2 minutes, right? I can't do a whole session that takes an hour. So I basically tapped her which just gets her body into a more, calm, relaxed state. And I did the same for her mom, who was next door, who was also stressing right with her. And later, alhamdulillah, the birth and everything went well. And she said to me, actually, she was so relaxed. The doctor thought she was falling asleep. And you have to say, oh, stay with us. You have your baby's coming now. And that's like, not expected. And she really completely went from totally, she couldn't think about anything else to being actually calm and being more present. And that was alhamdulillah, the gift that she had. And her baby is now 15 years old, but I will never forget that experience. It was amazing. The other example is of a client who had been coming for regular sessions. So this is just to show you that, change can happen instantly. That's always possible, but you get different kinds of changes when you commit to this path of healing. So another client had been coming for a while, but she had persistent back pain. And after one of her sessions, she sent me a message the next morning, and I'll never forget this story, because she was using capital letters and she had screenshots and she was like circling things in the message. She was so excited. She said, I have to tell you, I woke up this morning anticipating that pain that I usually get, and it was gone. There was zero pain. And she had the emojis with the crying faces and telling me, you've no idea what this means to me. And, alhamdulillah, she was so grateful. And it was just through there's a process of her coming for these sessions. But it reminded me that, we don't have to settle for pain and for stress and for having these difficulties. There's always hope, and there's always hope for change when we are willing to take that step forward. So this is a very important lesson.
That's super powerful. Yeah, thank you for letting me and the audiences in on that moment. Many of your clients I'm sure, struggle with overthinking, like myself. What are some simple but powerful tools you recommend to shift their mindset?
Yes, I mean, with overthinking, it can show up in so many ways. It can be quite draining on a person. It can help, makes you lose your focus because your mind is in so many places. So the most effective thing I can share is actually a tool that I teach my clients, and actually it's on my Instagram page as well. So I can demonstrate it here if you like.
That'd be great, yeah, and we
Okay.
can share the link as well.
Yeah, sure. And it only takes a few minutes. This is the same technique I use for my friend who was in labor, right? But anyone can use it. You don't have to be in labor. Okay, so basically, one hand is going to be at the back of your head, right? This is a brain balance technique, and we are creating a bridge between the right and left hemispheres of your brain. When you do that, your thinking smooths over. So you're not going this way, that way. You have the good transition between logic and creativity. So you can have a nice balanced brain, and that translates into a nice balanced body. And that's what calms you down and activates your healing. So one hand is going at the back of your head. And then one hand is going in front, where you are going to be lightly tapping on your head and tapping on your heart center, the chest, and over your belly button, that's your gut brain. So we're getting your three brains in alignment: your heart, your head brain, heart brain, and your gut brain, focused on this area of healing, which is this part of your brain. And you do that for 2 inhales in and out, right? So per hand placement. Then I'm going to move my hand up to the next part of my brain. So we're just bringing attention to your body, your brain, to look at this area of healing, tapping over head, heart, and gut. And what's interesting is measure your focus before and after. So what's your level of focus out of 10? And I'll always ask my clients, give it a number, right? It might be 6 or sometimes lower. And then do it, and then rate it afterwards, and you will be amazed how it shifts, how it changes. So head, heart, and gut. And it's a technique you can use. I like to do it at the start of the day, sets me up. You can do it at the end of the day before you go to sleep. Do it between when you're shifting modes from work or to home. Or for me, before I deal with the kids in the afternoon. So, and then the last is the side of your head, which is your temporal lobes of your brain, and you're just going to be tapping head, heart, and gut. Okay, and then I just like to take a nice deep breath in and out, and then you can see how you feel afterwards. So that's the technique. That's called the cortices technique. I also have on my page something I created called a self-check-in worksheet. So it's especially for people that are busy and they don't have a lot of time to sit and journal for pages, or sometimes you get lost. You don't know where to start if you want to journal. So I've got some very, very helpful prompts to just guide you to think about, to be able to capture what it is you're feeling and also get some clarity on, okay, how do I go forward? What's the next best thing I can do for myself right now? So that's also on my Instagram page. You can share the link for that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's super practical. I can already feel my focus is shifting.
Really?
So that's great.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Well done.
I was following you as you were doing it.
Excellent. Yes.
Next is, how do you explain BodyTalk to someone completely new to this holistic therapy?
BodyTalk is a science-based healing system, and it's about supporting all the different systems and parts in your body and helping them to work in harmony with each other. The way Allah has designed our body to function. Our bodies can heal itself. We know that, we can see that, right? When you get a cut, for example, you don't have to tell your body what to do. It knows, there's different processes are mobilized. The skin starts to repair. Whatever emotions you felt at the time gets to be dealt with. But what happens is that with prolonged periods of stress, or say an experience you had that you didn't have time to process and just move on to the next thing, or an accumulation of just too much of emotions that you haven't been able to offload or properly deal with, it slows down your body's ability to heal. And when that happens, that's when you start seeing symptoms. So you can see symptoms like physically, could be pain or, tension that you have. That's just a sign that your body is slowing down, its healing needs support. Even things like overthinking, anxiety, that's showing that there's an imbalance that's happening somewhere in your body. And that's where BodyTalk comes in. That's where BodyTalk helps us. It's a system that we use to say, well, let's clear out of the way what is slowing down your body's natural healing. Let's get it back into harmony, so it functions at your best, and that you can function at your best, so that your body is able to deal with the stresses that you are feeling, that you are more better equipped to, because stress is going to be happening, difficult things are going to be happening. We can't control that. But what you can do is put your body in a better position to deal with it. And that's exactly what BodyTalk does. The difference with BodyTalk as a modality and others, and I've studied a few other techniques and other modalities, which I find have a place, but I found nothing as comprehensive as BodyTalk, which looks at the mental side, belief systems and thoughts, the emotions, and where they might be stuck in your body, or things that you haven't, experiences that you had that are still being, you still have the emotional trigger from, to even your relationship with your environment and things around you, how you balance that so you're not overly attached and not overly affected as well. So it's really looking at, it's truly holistic. Many things say they're holistic, but this is, not just one aspect. It's everything, and looking at your whole story. And that's what makes the healing so much more powerful and long lasting, because that's what I'm really interested in, is seeing shifts that, stay with you for a very long time. And just, one other thing to think about is that for me, healing is not just the absence of a problem. It's not just, okay, I don't have pain. That's not enough for me. Why I was so, I was so fascinated with BodyTalk, and I continue to be, is because it's about supporting your potential for health. Where could you go with your health beyond not just having pain? And that's different for everyone. Could it be more energy for you? And I spend a lot of time with my clients, customizing what this means in a session. Could it mean more energy for you? Could it mean having more clarity in thinking, being more creative? Balance shows up so differently for everyone. There's also the spiritual side, how that helps you to be more present as well. And all of this is just having more self-awareness, and just taking you to what's possible for you when you are in your natural, balanced healing state.
Yeah, that's really clear way to put it, especially for someone who might be kind of skeptical or just unfamiliar with the energy work. How do you protect your own energy and well-being while guiding others through their healing journey?
That's a good question. I don't feel like my work drains me, or working with clients. They inspire and energize me, actually, because I feel healing is a two-way street. When I see potential in my clients, that means that potential also opens up for me. So I'm always learning. In fact, sometimes if I do clients like in the late evening for different time zones, I'm like on a buzz afterwards. I'm gonna like come down and before I can actually get into to rest mode. But I guess the question is like, how do I stay grounded when I'm trying to be that grounded, calm space for other clients? One thing is just taking care of basics to be present, like tapping my cortices, staying hydrated, ensuring that I am keep my intention very clear. That this is super important, reminding ourselves that, or I remind myself that the healing is, I'm not a healer. The client is actually the healer. They have this ability through the permission of Allah, through the power that He has placed in us to be able to heal. This is the way our body and system is working. I'm there to facilitate, but it's that client that's doing the work, and that change is coming from them. So having that in mind keeps me really grounded, and just having an open mind and being curious about what's the possibilities today, where can we take this client today, and that just opens up a wider potential for their change through the work that we do together.
Yeah, I find that so important, especially for practitioners like yourself in this space. It's it's interesting that you see that as something that energizes you. So it's pretty cool. What kind of inner work or growth have you had to go through to be the practitioner you are today?
I've been obsessed with self-development since I'm 15 years old, and I came across those kind of cliched but just so inspiring, those motivational messages and things that we used to have back in the day, or sometimes they're still going around now.
Yeah.
I was just obsessed with all of those, what the mind can achieve and the mind can believe. And so I've always been interested in this kind of stuff. That's why I put it in, being a BodyTalk practitioner just fitted in very much with my interest in any case. I've invested in lots of many courses, things to develop myself, to learn more, even a retreat. I obviously having regular BodyTalk sessions for the past 15 years is a very essential part of that myself, and other techniques as well, because I feel that I can only take my clients as far as I've taken myself, as far as I'm willing to invest in myself. And that's how I see my house as and my journey as an investment for both becoming better in what I'm doing now, but of course for my higher purpose and my higher goals to move closer and connect better with Allah, with my creator as well. And and as part of that, it's just I take my self-care very seriously as well. Because I want to feel like I do this because I love to do this, and not ever feel like it's being getting too overwhelming for me as well. So that level of balance, and that's a work in progress, of course. As a mom, I've got 2 small kids, so that balance I'm always trying to work on. But it's one of the things I'm really passionate about as well.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And I think it's easy to assume that healers are somehow above the struggle, right? And but I appreciate you sharing that and grounding us. What's next for Balance Bliss? Any workshops, retreats, or offering in the pipeline?
I'm very excited about a fascinating offer that I'm going to be putting out a bit later in the year. It's a whole body lymph support session. Okay, so it's a very different way about thinking about lymph, like we think of traditional lymph drainage, but it's a technique to support a healthy, clean environment in your body to promote lymph. And guess what? It's done energetically, which I know might blow your mind, but it's just a way of connecting with your body to clear out whatever it is that's causing, like stagnation, when you feel very lethargic, a lot of illness and a buildup that causes inflammation. So it's cleaning out the system and getting things flowing. And guess what moves with that as well? When I say whole body, it means emotions that are stuck and that might be slowing your body down also get to be cleared, so that you can feel, bright, sprightly. And it's just a really nice setup for further healing. And that's one thing that's for sure coming up. Other things I would like to do, I would love to come up with some courses to help people, beyond just sessions. What else can they be doing alongside their sessions? And so, yeah, inshallah, I'm always, it's not about ideas, it's just about getting that going. And so, inshallah, let's see how that also shapes up.
Yeah, great. Best of luck. Sounds like there's a lot to look forward to. How do you envision your work helping Muslim women, specifically, especially those juggling faith, family, and personal growth?
Oh yeah, that's also a great question. Firstly, I think that what we're doing here, this healing and trying to feel good as Muslims, we're not doing it for the sake of just feeling good. There's a reason that we do it. And for me, it's about grounding that in our ultimate purpose. We all have the purpose of, we want to achieve Jannah. So, keeping this Jannah focus in what we're doing. When we're trying to be better, it's to be better so that we can be better people, serving others, our family, serving our communities, being good ambassadors as Muslims to ultimately serve and please our Creator. So for me, self-awareness, in what we're doing here, unlike the Western approaches, is not just to know yourself and then do what with that. It's really so that you can connect better with yourself, so you can connect better with your Creator. And I see this over and over again with my clients as well. Some of them come to me with that feeling, that disconnection when it comes to the spiritual side. And that usually comes from having that disconnection with yourself. So busy with everything we're doing that we tune out what's important. We tune out the signals our body is giving us, and that's what causes them to feel that disconnection. And so the solution is always just come back to yourself, come back to your balance, and the result that you feel, the outcome, is at so many levels, including a spiritual side, including being more present. I actually have an example to share about that, about this impact of having my client having a session, having a BodyTalk session, and how it helped us with her spiritual goals. So she's a mom, and she just had a little baby. So she's a mom of 2, and she had a little baby. So before the session, she came to me, and one of the things she was worried about was that she knew it was Ramadan. So it was Laylatul Qadr was coming up. So that's the night of power. And like so many moms, she was feeling very guilty and worried that she's not going to be able to do her best because this year she has a baby with her. And she was wondering how is she going to keep up with the things that she wanted to do that night, knowing that it's such an important night. So the opportunity came up in her session. Imagine that, right? To balance and to prepare her for that night. Now, it's not about what rituals and whatever she's going to be doing, but it's about putting her in her best position to function and to be on that night. So we did the session, and there were different things we needed to balance, and whatever else was important for her came up. Afterwards, she fed back how it all went, and she said, look, it wasn't like anything totally miraculous, but I felt content with what I was able to do. She even managed to teach her older daughter, a few ayahs from the Surah Qadr, and that was her night. And to me, that was miraculous enough, because she was felt okay. There was balance with that, and this is my point. This is the potential that it holds for us when we are feeling within ourselves that inner balance. It allows us to be better in the things that we are doing for our deen and our spirituality as well.
Yeah, and that's such an important intersection. I feel like there's a real need for spaces that understand the cultural and spiritual needs of Muslim women specifically. It's powerful to see how you're holding that space with care and intention. The last question I have is, what's one piece of advice you'd offer to someone feeling overwhelmed and unsure where to start with their healing?
Pay attention. Just 2 words. Pay attention. We all we might have like big goals. Oh, I want to be more conscious. I want to be more mindful. And then we get overwhelmed. Where do I start? How do I do that? Just start paying attention to what are the signals and feelings in your body. What feels good? What doesn't feel good? Where's there tension? And just slowly start to pay attention to what's going on. And that is such a powerful step, because that pause, that ability to do that, opens up so much more for you. It opens up your ability to start becoming more aware in other situations, in bigger situations, and really the first step in your healing. And then you can deepen that and take that further. And there's so many other techniques and tools to be able to really go forward with it. But if you start paying attention, you'll start noticing things, and you'll be able to start making changes from that point.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just need that one step, and your advice of paying attention, it's pretty straightforward for them to just have that permission to begin. Taskeen, anything else before we wrap up? Anything I didn't ask you that I should have?
just one thing to understand, which I'd love people to take away also, is when we talk about understanding the bigger picture of your health, it's really about understanding how your story that you're carrying is a connected one. There are so many different aspects that what you are thinking affects how you are feeling, affects how energy is flowing in your body, and affects how that physically shows up for you. So those physical signs you have, don't take it to mean that, oh, I'm getting old, my body's failing me, or oh, I'm just going to be stuck with this forever. It's just the way it is. No, there's a deeper meaning, and there's always hope for us to figure out along the line, where's there room for improvement? What can we support here? How can we take you further? And these are the questions I ask and I support my clients with in their sessions. And alhamdulillah, through this questioning process, anything is possible for you, inshallah, through the power of Allah.